Ma'am, we'll come back to the email that I had on the screen earlier. I've now got on the screen what appears to be an email that you sent on April 5th at 2:17 p.m. to a fairly substantial number of people. Do you recognize that email?
Not in this format, no.
Say again, please.
No, I don't recognize it in this format. That's not how my emails look.
Well, let's disregard the format for the moment and ask if you recognize the language, the content, the recipients, and so on.
I would object, Your Honor, how she's in a position to verify without actually looking at the document. She's looking at a portion of one page. If you maybe be able to examine the document itself to see if it's actually something you believe she sent.
I'll just see if she recognizes it first.
Well, I've never seen it this way before. So I don't recognize this way it's been printed.
I don't have one clean copy, but I'll be pleased. My screen just went blank.
You must have touched something.
I only have one clean copy. I'd be pleased to hand it to the witness.
This is just a good example of her tendency to lie, and the judge is going to see this. Is it?
I think so.
Was that sent to all the neighbors, the N1? I thought it was just sent to you.
I have not seen that particular copy, Your Honor.
This is a different one. But she sent to a whole bunch of people.
It's the same as this one, but a different format?
What's the date on that one?
April 1 without a year.
That's April 5. I'll show it to you after the class.
This is what I call a cut and paste. I've not seen this before.
Oh my God, she's lying that she didn't send
What
it?
you're handing me. I don't know what's been put in or taken out, so I'm not going to say I recognize this, no.
Oh my God.
It's not from me.
It's not from me?
It says Merk.
Your email address.
You need to show it to Mr. Liss first.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. It says it's from her.
Mm-hmm. Are you videotaping?
Yes, I can hear it.
It's amazing. She's gonna.
How do you get out of something like this?
It'll be interesting to see. She's not gonna come off as credible with the judge if she doesn't.
Multiple emails. It doesn't seem like a normal email chain to me.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Can we get the
I guess she's gonna deny every email that gets,
magic? Thank you.
because she knows that what's about to happen.
You're in the habit, are you not, of sending emails to a number of your neighbors? Is that not correct?
Objection as to, the term habit. Maybe he can be a little more specific.
Overruled. You may answer.
Oh. Wow, overruled.
Yes, for the Neighborhood Watch only. I'm the head of Neighborhood Watch for 20 years.
She is?
I send the letters regularly. Emails.
So you feel it's your role to keep your neighbors informed about what's happening in the neighborhood. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And I believe your testimony is you don't recognize this email in its current form. Is that correct?
Correct.
I'd like you to look at, I'm going to show you the third page. of the email. Ask you to read that page from top to bottom to yourself so that I can ask you a question about it. Let me know when you finish and I'll move it up down the screen so you can see the model.
I really would like to be done with the testimony today for myself. It'd be nice to be done with it.
Why isn't she reading?
No, she has to read it privately, and then he's going to answer. She's going to ask questions.
I've now moved it so you can see the bottom of the page.
Meaning you wish you were doing your testimony today?
I'd like to just be done with it so I don't have to think about this tomorrow.
I wish I had a Starbucks coffee. My cousin
This
just said
isn't correct.
she's
Have you read it, ma'am?
Pending, ma'am.
What's the question?
There's no question pending.
Oh,
Look at the first full paragraph on that page. You wrote that?
She's going to say
Yeah,
no.
I can't see it.
Sorry.
She's going to lie and say she didn't write it, which will be really interesting. She's going to perjure herself now, actually, by saying she didn't write it. She doesn't know what to do. She does not know what to say or do right now.
it looks like a cut and paste of what I did, right?
Did she write it? Oh my God, a cut and
Move
paste.
to strike non-responsive. It's a yes, no question.
Brandon,
Did you write it? You either wrote it or you didn't write it. So if
Did
it's
you write that?
I don't know.
I
How
don't
about
know.
the second paragraph?
I don't know. It's going to make her look bad.
Did the angel of death write it?
Yeah,
You wrote that one?
yeah.
In that paragraph, you referred to a video that your PI, which I assume is private investigator, for photo evidence.
Objection, Your Honor, to questioning in regards to this paragraph, because it has nothing to do, it's not relevant to the subject matter of the case.
the objection's overruled. You may proceed.
This guy
He's
is
on to her.
basically
You talk about
toning
photo
her.
evidence of gay men.
he's letting
routinely,
him get away with everything.
And
All
something
questions.
filmed by a videographer, seen through glass doors on the back of 3792 Torito, facing the public golf course. You didn't show that video to us today, now, did you?
No.
And then you skip down to, I'm going to read this out loud for the record. I do not need to file for a restraining order. I am not in fear of my life like Chip and Mark, who have sworn under oath they fear Jacqueline Berman will make attempts at their life. You wrote that, didn't you?
No.
Can you explain how that language might have gotten into this rather lengthy email? Our representative goes on for several more pages.
She's lying.
It's the wrong date.
Excuse me?
You're asking me to explain?
I'm asking you if you have any idea how that paragraph might have gotten into this email.
Because this email is the wrong date. This was before Clarence assaulted me and told me I'm going to be shot. If this were real, it wouldn't be dated April 2nd, which is what I'm seeing.
Well, it's dated April 5th, ma'am.
Okay, but there was another part that said April 2nd. It looks like cut and paste.
Dated April 5th. Is it your position then that as of April 5th, 2021, despite everything that you claimed happened before that date, you were not afraid of Chip and Mark?
That's not true. I was afraid.
But yet you said on April 5th that you weren't afraid.
I didn't say I wrote that.
You don't know who might have written it. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
You're denying having written this email, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
in that format.
In that format. What does that mean?
That just means you're hitting something. You're turning it off and on.
Oh,
In that
inadvertently?
format.
Sorry.
In that format.
Judge Smith.
Your email address is Jacqueline at Jacqueline.eaglesoar@gmail.com.
Yes,
And if you take a look at the first page, the various, get that in focus,
I can't see it.
and neither can I, one moment.
You don't think the judge is believing this, do you?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I see that.
I think your specific testimony coupled with my general testimony around, just like this is what she does. This is her MO. Was going to sink her case. She would be best off withdrawing the case.
Let me try it a different way in the interest of time.
She doesn't even know how to answer.
You recognize the email speedyhollywood@gmail.com?
Huh.
The new neighbors,
Excuse me?
the new neighbors that moved in and sold
Okay.
their house and moved out.
So you're familiar with that email, correct?
That's,
Are you familiar with the email,
yes,
ma'am?
the
And
address he asked me.
markerhigh@gmail, you familiar with that email?
Yes,
That's Mr. Raven's email, isn't it?
correct.
And
There you go.
there we go. And Shane Fazell's email is on there, correct?
Yes,
And as you look down that entire list of emails, are those all emails that are familiar to you?
yes,
And you were in the habit at the time of keeping the neighborhood informed of the problems you claimed that you were having with Mr. Atterbury and Mr. Reven?
no,
You weren't.
no.
I'm going to return to the April 1st email
She doesn't have any.
I had on the screen
credibility.
earlier.
Oh, that's the one that got sidetracked when she.
Seen that email before, I believe?
Yes,
Is that an email that you wrote?
yes.
Now, from your testimony, I understand that you're seeking a restraining order, supposedly because you're afraid of my clients,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
And that's your only motive, right?
yes.
Okay. I'd like you to look at the third page of that email, which I'm putting on the screen. And I'm going to read the, well, first, just take a look at that page, and I want you to be sure that that's part of your original email, that you in fact wrote it.
She won't say that she did.
So I can listen to this again and again doesn't.
Before I get into the specifics, this email is, I should say, an email that you sent to many, if not all, of the same neighbors that you sent in the prior email, correct?
I didn't send the prior email.
Let me rephrase it. The addressees are many of the same people who were shown as addressees on the prior email, which you deny having sent.
I'd have to look at the prior again, but
It's incredible.
This machine is not cooperating.
It's the brightness this time.
Judge, you might give Mr. Fazell a run for his money.
Not so far.
Not so far, okay. Too bright.
there's different names on this one, on the addressing than on my email.
Say again, please.
There's more addresses, looks like, on this one than on my email that I recognize.
There is some overlap, is there not?
Yes,
Okay. And you sent the April 1st email, which is this one, and you addressed it to your neighbors, correct?
yes,
And that's to further keep them informed of events that have been happening in the neighborhood, correct?
to me.
Hmm?
To me,
You need to speak into the microphone, please.
yes,
And including, the events include the problems you allegedly were having with my clients, correct?
correct.
And we'll return to page 3. I want to read the middle of the page, paragraph into the record for the benefit of the record and the court reporter. I apologize, Your Honor. I'm left-handed and I keep hitting the power button inadvertently. That it did on its own.
Okay.
I share with you, as my neighbors, I pray, capitalize the word pray, that I pray will be dragged through the courts for 7 years and is the number of life in the Bible in my hope of them paying more for attorney's fees and my motions to compel than they paid for the house that I inherited and sold to them and gave every penny to Kitty Land to build a hospital and 4 other local no-kill rescues
She's
in the
got all that
name of
money. I
our
don't
friend
believe
Dorothy Lewis. I do not want money. I want to cost them money that I will only go to trial and never settle out of court. I want to watch them suffer the consequences in their bank account for the way they impugn my husband's reputation to the court and try to destroy his legacy.
Huh?
Your real motivation in this action, ma'am, is to cost my clients money, correct?
She's going to say no to that.
On April 1st, yes.
On April 1st, okay.
Clever.
Just out of curiosity, my clients allegedly impugned your late husband's reputation or memory in what way?
They perjured themselves before Nikki Reed on December 15th, and Clarence claimed that he had a video from his Ring camera of my husband on his front porch stealing their Amazon packages, and that we had stolen from them repeatedly, and the declaration was so shocking
Oh, God.
about my husband
Oh, she's such a...
ethics and morals, and I was asked by Nikki Reed, because she questioned it, and we asked for the police report, and he said, Clarence said, well, I never called the police, but he's called the police on everything. Why, if my husband had done something so horrible, didn't he call the police on his supposed video of my husband stealing his packages?
Joe should move to strike everything beginning with what Nikki Reed supposedly said is hearsay. Granted. It's true, is it not, that at some point, and I don't have the date in my head, you or your husband took some boxes from the porch of my client's residence and took them into your residence?
Correct.
Thank you.
They were thankful. They were out
I'd
of
like to
town.
move the two emails into evidence. Let's call the April 5th one, defendant's number 1.
We'll just go in order, so I think we're on exhibit. We're on exhibit 4, so the April 5th, 21 email with the exhibit 4. Any objections to that email?
That's the April 5th or 1st?
The April 5th,
Did you hear him with this kitty land thing? Is that, do you know if that's
email
true?
would be number 4, and April 1st email would be number 5.
Let's just do one at a time.
I would object to the April 5th, that has not been established as an authentic email. There's no foundation.
But that's the neighborhood watch email,
Yes.
No.
which she agreed that she wrote.
Oh, that's the April 5th.
That's the one we're talking about. All right, so any objection to the April, it's exhibit 4 and the April 5th email.
Yeah, not the April 5th, but the April 1st I would object.
Exhibit 4 is admitted. And exhibit 5 is the April 1st, 2021 email.
This is really interesting.
No foundation.
Any response to that?
I believe she identified it as an email that she sent.
So with respect to exhibit 5,
Actually, Your Honor, I'm correct. But I think I'm confusing. So the April 1st one is the one that that was the one that she did identify. The April 5th one is the one that she said that was not the one that's the one that she identified.
all right, and that's the April 1st email is the neighborhood watch email.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so no objection to exhibit 5. That'll be exhibit 5.
Okay. So, no, I don't have the exemption was that to exhibit